Alright guys, I'm going to try and give you guys a little bit of an update. Hopefully it won't be 20 minutes long. No, it should be quick. I have had quite a few doctor's appointments this last week, so just kind of letting everybody know where I'm at. I've had some people ask. So Wednesday I had a genetics test done. They're testing to see if I have the BRCA mutation. So real quick, real brief, just for people who may not understand what that is exactly. So everybody has what's called the BRCA, I think that's BRCA1 or BRCA2. Anyway, it's supposed to protect against breast cancer. It's a specific gene that's supposed to protect us against breast cancer. When you have them, and there's two copies, right? That's how DNA works. There are two copies. But what happens if you have a mutation of one of them, when you encounter things in environment or maybe genetically, your family history, all the reasons that people get breast cancer, it damages one as well. So if your environment, or if it's in your family, or if these other little things play a role in damaging your BRCA gene, and you already have a mutation of it already, then there's nothing to fall back on. So that's really what they're testing for, because obviously one of my genes has been damaged, but they want to see if I actually have a mutation of that backup gene, which is what ultimately caused all of this at such a young age or whatever. Did not protect against it for me. Anyway, so that was on Wednesday. I won't get those results on for another week, but it was at the same location as my MRI, which was on Tuesday. I was supposed to get my results on Wednesday, but I didn't, so I'm still kind of waiting to see how my MRI went. That was an experience. I talked about it on my Snapchat. It was not really fun, but they played Sade, and if anybody knows me, Sade is my most favorite, so it was kind of like a sign to me that oh, you're playing Sade, my favorite. Anyway, random side note. So then Thursday I had a consultation with my chemo doctor to talk over what exactly kind of treatment I'm going to have, when it's going to start, how long it's going to be, what's going to happen to me because of it, blah, blah, blah. Again, basically because I have the HER2 cells, the treatment isn't necessarily your maybe more common, more basic procedure. Okay, so keep that in mind. Some of you have sent me a lot of information, which has been wonderful. I appreciate every little bit of resource and information you're sending. But your friend who went through this, or your mom who went through this, or whoever you may know that went through this, or somebody you saw on TV or somewhere, may have had a very different experience than what I have. They may not have had the HER2 cells. They may not have had triple cells, which means there are 3 different kinds of cancer cells showing up for me, which isn't great. That's not good. Sometimes there's 2. More commonly there's 2. With people who don't have to go through chemo, who can just have surgery, they either don't have HER2 cells, or they only have 2 different kinds of cancer cells showing up, and the procedure is different. So the fact that I have 3 different cancer cells and one of them is HER2, it puts me in a little bit more rare of a category. We're talking less than 1/4 of all women who have breast cancer have the kind that I have. So it's a little more specific. It's a little more rare. And quite frankly, that actually put a lot of my wonderings at ease, because side note, I'm going to go through chemo. Okay, there's so many of you who are not for that, who do not want me to go through chemo, and I understand your concern. I love you for your concern. I appreciate all the resources you've sent me and all the concern that you've had for me. It means a lot. But listen, I haven't made it easy for these doctors to just talk me into chemo. Okay, I've argued and fought with them the entire way because chemo was not something that I wanted to do at the beginning, because of all of the videos that I've seen, because of all of the research that I've done, because of all of the things that I have seen of what can happen out there. And I'm not knocking any of that or denying any of that. I absolutely think it's possible for cancers to be cured naturally. I do. Call me crazy. You can. I don't even care. I know that it can be. We've seen it happen. There are those people out there that have cured their cancer naturally. So it's possible. I just don't have their cancer. And that doesn't mean that I believe less in holistic means. It just means I'm not going to be foolish, and I'm not going to just depend on my smarts, because guess what? They are lacking compared to a doctor's smarts. So I feel at peace with my decision to have chemo. I have zero fears whatsoever. It's not going to be fun. I don't want to lose my hair. I don't want to get sick. But that's going to happen. I'm going to lose my hair. This particular type of cancer requires a method of treatment that I will lose my hair. It's going to happen. I also don't have insurance coverage until 2020. That's fun. Been talking on the phone a lot with those people, and obviously still going down every financial aid option that I can. But I do not have financial aid, or I don't have coverage until January 1st. And they want me to start my treatments on the 22nd of this month. So side note, just kind of in detail what's going on. Basically, I'm going to have 6 rounds of chemo. One Friday every 3 weeks. And it's like a 6-hour deal. It's like half the day I'm going to be in this chemo treatment. So my first treatment is going to be on the 22nd of this month, and my final treatment will be on the 6th of March. So literally the Friday before my birthday, which is kind of exciting. And then I'll get surgery. And then like about 4 or 5 weeks after my surgery, I will get further HER2 treatment, possibly further HER2 treatment, to finish out a year. It's not chemo. It's still intravenous drugs. I still have to go for the treatment every 3 weeks. I still have to sit there and get that stuff put in me, those drugs put in me, but it's not chemo. It will not have any effect on my body. Once the chemo's done in March, I'll have surgery. I'll have to recover from surgery, and then should be good to go. What they do is after surgery, they'll take the tissue, they'll cut it up, and they'll analyze every little bit of tissue that they take from me to make sure that either there is no residual cancer because the chemo did its job, or there is some residual cancer. If there is some residual cancer, the HER2 protocol that will finish out the year might be a little different than what they're saying now. But it just depends on what happens after my surgery, if it did in fact get all of the cancer. What else? I want to make sure I answer. Okay, so a lot of people have been so sweet and wonderful and want to either have me over for dinner or make dinner for me, or lunch or whatever, and it's really, really sweet of you. I want to see all of you, but a lot of research that I've done, there's a lot of evidence that points to fasting during chemo and the incredible benefits that it can have on your body, not just when it comes to sickness, but literally in how your body takes the treatment. And because I want my body to be at optimal during treatment so that I can bounce back quickly, so that I don't have to miss a lot of work, so that I'm not sick, I am going to be fasting during my chemo treatments, probably for about 72 hours before, during, and after. So in light of that, I'm juicing. So as much as I would love to eat all the food with you, other than my fundraiser where I'm going to eat food and have beer, I am juicing. I'm just trying to prep my body for fasting, basically, and get it into a place where I can go fasting for 72 hours and not lose my mind. So yeah, the other thing that I wanted to say is just coming up next week. I have a doctor's appointment on Monday. I'm getting swabbed for MRSA. They want to make sure that there's no skin infection or anything before they do the port on Tuesday. And then Tuesday morning, really early in the morning, I will have a surgery. They're going to put me under to take out a lymph node and put in the port, which they'll use for my chemo. The lymph node, be praying, be believing, be sending good vibes that I will not have any cancer cells outside of my breast. We're really hoping that it hasn't spread, but we'll see. He's going to take some from my lymph node, and we'll get a little bit clearer, accurate look at things. And things may change if it has spread, but we're just taking we're going to take the route that is that it hasn't, but we're going to find out if it has next Tuesday is that procedure. And then next Friday, the 15th, I have to get an echocardiogram, possibly more tests depending on how the lymph node extraction, that biopsy, depending on how that comes back. I may have other tests, but so for the most part, they just want to make sure my heart can handle chemo. I initially thought that I was going to have all the tests, right? I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have like 47 tests. Every day I'm going to be at the doctor's. But no, it looks like it's really just a cardiogram they're going to do, or an echo that they're going to do to just check my heart. And if everything is a-okay, we're going to run through kind of what the treatment will look like as far as like an itinerary of what my day in treatment's going to look like. And then, yeah, treatments start on the 22nd. So it's the Friday before Thanksgiving. They say that the first week is usually, it's like 7 to 10 days where it could be, you may get sick, you may feel nauseous, blah, 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 blah. So we'll see. I mean, I'll find out how quickly my body bounces back, but that's what they say is within the first 7 to 10 days, that's when my body could be a little iffy. And then after that, everything's fine, back to normal. So being able to work those other 2 weeks in between treatments should not be a problem. So you can still come and see me. However, I may not have hair or I may have a wig on. If anybody knows how to put on wigs or deal with wigs, show me your ways. Kelsey, I'm looking at you, girl. Cause yeah, I gotta figure that out. Wigs are fun. I'm super excited about it, actually. So yeah, anyway, that's kind of a recap of everything. Today's a big day. I had to work earlier. I have to work tonight too. So if you want to come see me tonight, by all means, come say hey. Let's hang. But yeah, thanks for checking in and tuning in and kind of getting this is what's happening now post. And I will try and catch up with you guys probably next Friday or Saturday, with how next week went. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you all soon. Remember, the 17th is the fundraiser. The 17th. It's a Sunday, 2 Sundays from tomorrow. Right? 2 Sundays from tomorrow? Anyway, it's the 17th from 2 to 6. Please come, show me your faces, let me love on you, give you big hugs. And yeah, thanks for watching.